यहाँ फेरि आएन भने के भन्छ हाम्रो मान्छे बोलेर आयो
मान्छे सबै आउँछ त्यहाँ सुन्नु नि उता उतासम्म आउँछ
Esports, the beautiful day here in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Coming to you live from the grandest stage ever, the Amazon Arena.
My name is Mara Aquino.
And my name is Dawood Sandstorm.
And welcome to the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Mid-Season Cup.
With a prize pool of $3 million and $1 million going up for first place. And of course, the fight for the right to hoist the trophy at the end of this incredible 2-week journey.
Today we'll witness the excellence of 16 of the world's strongest teams fighting in the land of dawn. They stand here not just themselves as players, but to represent their region, their nation, for the ultimate honor and the glory to participate in this prestigious event.
And now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's start by welcoming for the very first time your MST 2024 participating teams. Starting off with A, ladies and gentlemen, help me in welcoming the White Tigers, Eva's Glory, followed by the Bastion of Turkey, Fireflux Esports, the Pride or NIP Flash, and the undisputed champion of the Latin American region, RRQ Akira. These 4 teams stand in front of you now, starting this 2-week journey, and of course, fighting for the $3 million and the right to hoist that trophy. Boys, we wish you the best of luck, and we'll see what you can do, and you may now exit the stage.
Now ready to enter the stage. Considered to be the group of death, here comes Group B. The defending MSC champions, Fnatic Onyx. The Cambodian powerhouse, see you soon. The undefeated champion of Malaysia, Selangor Red Giants. And from the skies, the champions of MENA, the kings of Saudi Arabia, Team Falcons. When this group was drawn, the reaction of the world was unanimous. Arguably, the toughest group consisting of 4 MPL champions. This is Group B. You may now exit the stage.
Now, we've seen 2 of these groups, and of course, we still have 8 more teams. We still have 2 more groups to present to you on this Amazon stage. And now, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please help me in welcoming Group C with the strongest region's champion. Welcome, Liquid Echo. The dark horse of the EECA region, Team Spirit, and set to twist the game in front of the home crowd, Twisted Minds. And followed by the wild card winner from Malaysia, none other than Homeboys. Every single one of these teams stand in front of you right now, starting this incredible journey. They know what the prize pool is. They see that trophy as they walk onto the stage. And only one team will have the right to call themselves champions and hoist that trophy. Boys, once again, we wish you the best of luck, and you may now exit the stage.
And finally, let's welcome the final 4 teams. Group D, starting off with the reigning world champions, Falcons AP brand. The the new bearer of hope, XYG, the redemption-seeking squad from North America, Cloud9, and aiming flying high, Myanmar's Falcon Esports. 3 rising regions against a dominant M5 World Champions. And you may now exit the stage. And that's it, Sandstorm. We've met the 16 teams of the group stages.
That we have. And honestly, I am worried. There's a lot of strong teams. It's going to be a very strong competition. And it's going to be a very long 2 weeks, Mara.
Now, for the first match of our group stage, we're going to be seeing the world champion going up against a team that's looking to make a name for themselves in the world stages.
That's right. We're talking about none other than Falcons AP Brent taking on XYG. Talking about a world champion coming up against, I want to say, an underdog in this tournament.
Now, what's interesting about Falcons AP Brand is that they've done a world tour collecting trophies from different MLBB tournaments, and they're out to prove that they're still the best in the world. So let's take a look at this video for Falcons AP Brand. Received every single trophy except this MSC trophy.
Yeah, that is very true, and I want to see if that first game is going to be close for the world champion, or is XYG going to go in an 0-2, or I don't know, it's a best of 2. It's going to be a very, very close series, and honestly, I'm excited, boys and girls. It's going to be a hell of a tournament. It's going to be a hell of a start, and without further ado, let's have a little bit more information about the second team participating in this best of 2. Let's have a look at XYG. Well, after seeing that, I have high hopes for XYG coming into this game against Falcons AP Brent.
I know, Sandstorm, we're doing something a little bit different here at the Esports World Cup. Now, each team will get a personalized key, and this symbolizes their right to participate in the Esports World Cup. A symbol of their success, but only one will get to keep theirs.
That's right. Only one team will be able to hold on to their keys. And unfortunately, if you are eliminated from this tournament, you give your key to the team that eliminates you, and unfortunately, watch it get destroyed. And that's the way the cookie crumbles, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way it works right here at the MSC 2024. And now, Mara, I think it's time for us to get the show on the road.
That's right, I'm excited, the crowd is excited, and the teams are all hyped up. So now it's time to start the first day of the group stages for the MLBB Mid-Season Cup. Let's head over to the studio.
Much Mara as well as Sandstorm heading on to our first match of the day. It's going to be Falcons AP Brand going up against XYG. By the way, Mirko, thanks for playing along with the bit.
Yeah, bro.
Wolf,
Yeah.
just
I
do
wasn't,
you.
yeah, I wasn't included in there. I felt FOMO, you know,
No, I mean-
FOMO.
Here's the
We're
deal.
here for the smart stuff, man. Yeah, well, that's true, that's true.
Now we got to
Hope
talk
so.
about the reigning world champion versus China's new hope. How are you guys feeling about that? Let's start with Wolf.
Yeah, I'm very happy about the progress of China's New Hope, you know.
Yeah.
Especially because there are some Filipinos out there as well. Of course, I'm very biased towards that. But I do know that I've received a lot of news in scrims that they have been performing so well. There are a lot of adjustment with the players, especially because they haven't been playing in the patch that we are actually playing at. But then their adjustment when they went back to Southeast Asia to scrim with the people out there, they received news that they are doing really well.
Oh, so when he's talking about scrims, it's fine.
When we do it,
When we do it, we got a problem. We got a problem. But either way, world champions should be looking good for this one, huh?
Yeah, I feel like for Falcons AP Brand, you know, a lot of people are coming into MSC 2024 looking at Falcons AP Brand still. Even though they didn't win, obviously in MPLPH up against Liquid Echo, they still look like, I don't know, there's an aura about them still. They're still probably one of the best teams, if not the best team in this tournament.
Okay, so I hear about you guys. Now we got to talk to the casters. Leo as well as Gideon, how do you guys feel about this match? You know what, Mirko, you're hot.
Hey, you're hot.
No, they
Okay,
are.
who's gonna compliment me? Come on.
The thing is, you compliment me, I compliment him, they compliment the casters. The casters didn't do,
Yeah.
they did you dirty.
You know what, casters, you guys are great. I'm gonna let you guys get ready for the game because we still have a few things to talk about here.
Yeah.
Because I'm really looking forward. Where looking at the draft, I heard that in scrims people have crazy picks, especially in the jungle.
That's right. I believe that there are a lot of flex. There's a trinity now that's working. Like there's assassins, there's utility slash tank junglers, and there's like somewhere in the middle.
Fighters,
Fighters, I guess
Yeah.
you can call them fighters, but they're not actually fighters. They're like, I would call them sustain type of junglers.
Cruisers,
Yeah, probably.
alphas,
Duelists.
Duelist.
I mean, what do you think, Mirko? Like aside from the jungle, is there anything else that's interesting? Because we got to talk about XYG as well. Having Chama in the lineup, having KillVJ in the lineup, dude, a lot can happen here.
Yeah, for sure. I think for a lot of us, we were coming into MSC again, looking at the Chinese teams and thinking, all right, they're probably not going to do too well, right? Based on their previous performances in international tournaments. But then you take a look at KBG, how they were almost able to dominate this group.
right.
They were able to get such an amazing early game with such a short time at actually adapting to the current meta. So for XYG, they're the champions of the Chinese qualifiers for a reason. And I feel like with KillVJ, with Chama, even I'm guessing here, just like in the qualifiers, he'll be able to help the team a lot when it comes to the meta game.
And that's very true with KillVJ as well. Just
Yeah.
the presence of the experienced champion in the team, MSC champion in that team, and he's already able to affect the team in a very good manner.
And for you guys at home, mark your calendars on July the 7th. Soul Vessel Series skins. I'm on a Vessel of the Sea as well as Hanabi Vessel of Rage are stated for a stunning reveal, so don't miss out.
AA Mon.
Sorry, dude.
AA Mon.
Dude, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I'm the host. I should have been better.
Yeah,
I will be better.
you should be.
I'll be better than great.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the.
This is
That's the previous one.
That's the previous one. But you guys were talking about XYG, which again I'm pretty hyped about. I want to see how they perform in this MSC. But again, Falcon CB brand. This is legit, right? Because we're playing a best of 2. We're playing a best of 2. How should they approach this? Should they go all in, or do they have to hide a few secrets for the next stage of the tournament?
I think Falcon Safety Brand is a team. When Vren was there, they were trying to hide some of their strategies or they're serving their strategies. I think now that there's a different leadership and they know that they have to really just show their aura as a team, that they have to be the team that other teams have to fear. I think that they will go all out, even though it's just the group stages.
Yeah, I've got to agree, especially considering how simple, brutal, legendary the format is. It's very, very punishing. If you lose out on some of the early games, especially considering now it's a best of 2, LaFell, you said it, you draw some of the other games against the other teams, and you can actually not make it out of groups. That's
right.
a scary thought, and
That's
even
right.
Naisu talking to us, saying like, yo, what if, right? This is just an if situation.
He said, like, what if, bro? What if, bro? Listen,
What if the Filipino teams don't get out of groups? That'll be crazy, bro.
No, that's crazy. You gotta say it right.
That's
Crazy.
shout out Saturna.
But yeah, what if that happened? By the way, for you guys at home, a new hero is out. It's Jusin, the new mage hero. But we also got to tell you guys, it's not going to be playable in this MSC. It has arrived with our exclusive pack. Get the hero and the Eternal Serenity skin during the launch week. You only have 460 diamonds. You also can get the skin for only 5 diamonds during the first 14 days. So again, mark your calendars. So again, just in case our people are like, oh, maybe they're hiding in the threat. Nah, it's not usable for this MSC.
That's right. I think you usually have to wait for 2 weeks, which will not be falling in MSC. And I think I've spoken to some of the analysts and some of the casters and the players. They feel like that hero is gonna be great when it is available now.
I gotta ask you, right? Because we gotta look at the EXP lane. Flap TV going up against KLVJ. KLVJ used to be a jungler, but now he's transitioning into the EXP, which I've talked with some of the teams in their region. The EXP laners are really the carries for the team.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. Especially with the meta game that we have. There was a time where EXP laners were, you rely on them when it comes to setups, but now you're relying on them when it comes to damage and scaling. KLVJ, if you look back at the previous history of this kid, actually plays the side lanes. Back then we didn't have the EXP and the gold lane, so he's
good old times.
the good old times. They call him the quote-unquote off lane, which is also a very farm-heavy type of lane that you rely on. And KLVJ, I think reports say that he's now very comfortable in that lane.
I think considering how team fight centric a lot of neutral objectives will be contested in the early game, the meta is shifting to. These XP lanes are going to have an even bigger role to play. So we've been seeing a lot of the playmaking XP laners all around the world. Heck, even if we go back to the M5 World Championships, Finals MVP was FlapTZ.
Yeah.
The man who was able to create the most impact in the Grand Finals was FlapTZ on the XP, just absolutely stomping on his lane and then utilizing that on other lanes and other team fights.
Personally, for me, I feel like Warcry is one of the reasons why the XP lane has been so impactful, right? Because
Not Temporal Rain?
dude, it's Warcry. Warcry all the way, because again, that extra 8% of damage makes you dominate your lane. And we know the simple rule about the EXP lane, if you're 2 levels ahead, you win the game, buddy. Even if you lose the game. As an EXP laner, you know you won.
You won lane.
2 levels ahead of who, though? Of
The XP lane.
Other XP. Oh, wow. I haven't seen any of that happen. If that happens...
Oh, that happens so many times to me.
Okay.
And that's why I'm now just a roamer.
So you were an XP before. You weren't able to use the wild card or
here's the
the Warcry?
I would appreciate if you don't bring up my pass on live television.
You know what? It's fine, LaFell. We won't talk about your Warcry pass, all right? Let's talk about the XP lane, because again...
I just cry.
It's okay. That's why it's called the Warcry, right? You slash off the war, he doesn't get the war. You know what? It's okay, LaFell.
Thank you.
Now you can use the Temporal Rain or maybe the Warcry in Rome.
Can you let Wolf talk?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You want to talk?
What do you want me to talk about?
The Warcry and the XP?
Oh, Warcry and XP. I don't know what you thought about
and
that.
jungle.
Yeah, you know, I've done a lot of interesting tests about Warcry. Unfortunately, I think it only fits with some of the marksmen, attack speed based marksmen. I think it's applicable to some of the damage type or slash assassin type of junglers, right? Sometimes we say that jungler assassin is the thing. I would label it as damage junglers instead. It's not really just about the assassins, although
dude, have you
most
tried
assassins Yuzhong in the jungle?
No, Yuzhong Warcry.
Yuzhong Warcry?
He's an XP lane.
It's amazing. Like, you know the Shara through the pool?
Yeah.
That gets 8% as well.
Yeah, that's right. If you
I
land
am
it
right.
do you land it properly though?
Dude, this right? I can play Yuzhong Rome and it will not work out, but it will feel good.
It's okay as long as you feel good.
Yeah, but then again, yeah, Warcry. I think it's it still is an emblem that you pick up when you want to deal the damage. You want to be the damage dealer of the team. You're like the core of the team. But otherwise, if you're a utility, like if you're the XP and you want to go for the setups instead, you're not going to be relying on the damage. Just go for something along the lines of a quantum charge so that you can set up properly. It's still role based in the end of the day.
But Mirko, don't we always want to go full damage? Even as a roam.
That's true.
Even though I'm not Baloy, I want to go full damage.
Lubukan
Help.
Baloy.
Lubukan Baloy.
Gua bisa pakai Harley Rome. That means I can use Harley Rome.
Yeah.
Anyone can use Harley Rome, but not everybody can execute it properly.
Okay, here's the thing. You guys have heard our analysts talk. We've been talking a lot about the heroes being used as well as the emblems that's being used. Again, I personally want to see a lot more of the Warcry, the Sky Piercer as well. It really depends on the team whether they want to put it in the jungle or the gold lane. We haven't seen so much in the EXP. We've even seen one in Rome when using the Hilda. But either ways, that's neither here or there. This MSC will shape up. This MSC will shape up the meta. Whatever you guys are playing in rank, hey, things will shape up. You've seen Roger, hearing from the players. You might see more bait. You might even see Natalia. You might even see some crazy fighters in the Rome. So far, it's only the Hilda as well as the Arlet. But again, who knows? I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot of Paquito.
No, I think there will be a lot of Paquito in this meta game just because when there are assassins, you're looking for farm type slash split push type of fighters in the XP lane, which Benedetta as well as Paquito, they're gonna fall into that race. And Sky Piercer, Paquito, man, that's what a quit the game. Exactly.
And that's what's interesting about what we saw in the wild card, because in the wild card we didn't get to see a lot of the Paquitos. We didn't get to see the Benedettas at all as well. We saw like one Benedetta throughout the wild card. And for the most part, the wild card teams, they really put an emphasis on team fight. It's all about getting the damage out for heroes.
Sure.
Even in the Rome, Edith was a super prio pick. They would go for it in the first phase, even banning it out away from each other. So the fact now that you have a lot of setters in the XP lane that is getting so much more value because of the Warcry, because of the changes into the War Axe as well. Like the Terizla, you get so much sustain, so much damage. How is it all going to play out? Is the Paquito going to show up more in the main stage? You said it will, but the wild card says it a bit differently, right? He says, yeah, it could work, but the Terizlas and Yuzongs have been better.
Is it more draft or the player?
I think definitely it's more about the player slash the team, the way that they're very comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Maybe the wildcard teams aren't yet very comfortable about this kind of split type of compositions. But I'm sure that if you look at the roster of the players that we have right now in MSC, you know that there are really good players that play this Paquito well. Like the gentleman that you saw earlier was Baptiste.
Yeah, right now we're looking at the ROG ping test as well. Both teams are setting up. They're both getting ready. And again, personally for me, Wolf, I don't know about you, but even looking at the wild card, I feel like aggression is the key. And specifically, the first 3 turtles, right? I feel like out of 3 turtles, the second one is the most important. But Mirko, what do you think?
I think at this point, every single turtle is going to be very, very important. We've seen that a lot of teams in the early game, even with a 2,000 gold lead, it looks like they're dominating.
It feels like 6,000.
Exactly. The gold lead that you have in the early game almost gets amplified because of how much team fighting is prio now, right? Because again, you get the first 2 turtles and you are able to dictate the pace of the game instantly. You can invade the jungle. You can force some of these team fights away from their even turrets, sometimes diving in their turrets with just a 2,000 gold lead. Now, maybe you can go and deep dive into this, Wolf. Why are we seeing the gold lead in the early game be amplified in the way that we're seeing?
Yeah, I think it's mainly because of the changes with the Lord, which I'm going to be talking about later. But for now, it's the Sky Piercer. I think that really allowed for teams to really dive. That's the stacks, the automatic execution, and the fact that it's very cheap. You know, it's very affordable.
Yeah,
it's easy to
1,500, man.
just get it, team fight, and then snowball off of that. Now you can dive, and it's very rewarding to go for snowball type of compositions nowadays. Now, if you're looking at about why aggression is rewarded heavily in this patch, is mainly because of the Lord dance as well. I don't know if you've tried dancing with the Lord right now.
Oh, we've tried.
We've difficult, dude.
It's like we dance with the Lord, we die.
Exactly.
It's not a dance anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a totally different dance that we're doing, and you definitely cannot face the Lord now, even if you're a complete jungler. Basically, yeah.
We dance and then we break down and we cry.
Yeah, you get your bones broken. But I mean, technically, for teams like Falcons AP brand, we've been known, I mean, in the M5 World Championships as well, how they were always able to get the advantage was through the macro game, right? They wanted to go for these forced errors across the map, utilizing their macro advantage, and then ultimately using the Lord Dance to get the better team fight.
Yep.
Now, what does that put, like, where does that put Falcons AP brand? Are they going to like the change of having no Lord Dances or having a very different type of Lord Dance?
Go Bunga Bunga. Don't think about it, just do it.
Is that what Trevor does?
I think so.
I feel like, personally for me, apologize instead of asking for permission. Do it first, think later.
Don't try that at home.
Don't try that.
But what I want to say is that if you look by M5 and MPL PH season 12, the trait that they were called AP brand back then, but the trait that Falcons AP brand had was they were very aggressive. They are so early game centric. Although they fail in the late game, they still are very successful in many games because they end the game fast. I think that will be rewarding right now, especially because they can flex their jungler and their mid laner. For example, let's talk about the Julian. And you're going to see the Julian get picked up a lot when there are Filipino teams, because we know that the Filipino junglers and the position for mages or mid laners can substitute between assassins. Like Julian, for example, can play it in jungle, can play it in the mid lane. Yeah, so you can expect that even a Hellcurt in the mid lane is viable nowadays. So that will happen.
And we gotta talk about XYG as well. One of the key players is definitely Lung, an amazing gold laner. But again, going up against other teams here in MSC, where they're really looking at the early game as well as the mid game power spike, I feel like if they secure Lung's hero early, he's got to be very careful. If he takes something that scales a little bit too long, the entire draft has to revolve around him, Mirko.
That's what I'm actually, kind of worried about for both these teams, because even for Falcons AP brand, this is the same kind of concern that I have for Super Marco. You mentioned earlier that for Falcons AP brand, they like to go for the early game compositions. That's why the Brody was such a big pick at the M5 World Championships. And yeah, for XYG, I don't know. Do you want to go for more early game? Do you want to double down on that early game with a high pressure gold lane like a Herod, like a Roger? Or do you want to put him in the weak side? Because again, if we take our reference from the wild card, most teams who found success with heroes that actually scale up. in the gold lane. The Roger's been finding more success in the jungle compared to the gold, and I am actually thinking both teams should try to do that first, right? Have that late game insurance in the gold lane with Long or with Super Marco, and then the rest of the team, they try to scramble, they try to brawl it out for that early game.
Yeah. And the thing is, when we were talking about scaling, some of the early game here, some of the heroes that are good in the early game can also be scaling. It's just that in the mid game they're really, really bad. Like I'm talking about assassins here. For example, in the first 2 minutes of the game, Hayabusa and Ling, very strong. Roger as well in the jungle.
Oh yeah.
If you use them, they snowball off of it. But come to mid game when everything is when you need it to farm up, when the enemy roamers have their first item up, it kind of feels like you cannot kill anyone anymore. You need more items. So it's like you have to solve the mid game now. You have good scaling because you're a jungler, assassin jungler, and you have your gold laner. But in the mid game, you have to kind of find out where you have to be farming. Do you contest the turtle against a utility jungler? Do you give up the first lord just to secure your buffs or something like that? So yes, scaling is rewarded in the patch right now, but I think it's more about like how do you solve the mid game problem where you need to farm.
I know I'm just a host here, but if I can put my 2 cents here, I feel like quite a few assassins that have a strong power spike when they get 2 kills before 4 minutes, I feel that they look pretty good because we've seen a Hayabusa, the changes that the Hayabusa has, makes it so that his farming speed is the same pace as a Nolan. And if you can farm the same speed as a Nolan, that's insane. I've seen Hayabusa go first item, Sky Piercer, and that kind of solves his problem, right? Even if he doesn't have enough damage, as long as the mid laner say something like a Pharym is able to deal splash damage, get everybody under the 4% threshold, and then getting a triple kill on the first or second turtle just skyrockets the Hayabusa's damage. Of course, so far in terms of meta assassin picks, we've only seen the Ling, we've seen the Hayabusa. Other than that, we haven't seen anything else.
The Nolan, I guess, right?
Yeah, the Nolan, but
we haven't really been seeing Lancelot even. Despite the Morax changes, you know, a lot of people have been actually trying out the Lancelot, trying to make it work, but yeah, hasn't actually worked out.
Yeah, for sure. But I think you're going to see Lancelot in this tournament, one way or another.
There you go.
Julian is going to be one of the choices as well. That's
Is it super prio? You're throwing out Julian a whole lot right now. Because, I mean, it's flex, and you're saying it's really, really good.
I mean, like
rolls.
Okay, sorry to interject, but I feel like one of the heroes that can fight the Ling pretty well is the Julian.
Exactly. So that's that's your Ling counter, definitely. When it comes to like farming speed, as well as when it comes to like 1v1, Julian will actually win it against the Ling. It's like
is it a pure counter or is it a skill matchup?
A skill matchup for sure.
Yeah, you know where the Ling lands, right? Because once he uses Tempest of Blaze, you have 1 or 4 chance. You know which area he's gonna land, and then you just throw your enhanced chain.
Yeah. Here's the thing, right? The first combo that you do for the Ling, you force the ultimate, right? And then you kind of outplay him by dashing or using your retribution. And then after a few seconds, after 7 seconds, you have another combo again. The Ling is now in trouble. Ling has to fly away, which means that if the Ling is flying away from the fight, means that he will not be able to deal the damage anymore because he's just out of there. So that's how the Julian counters the Ling.
Speaking of a lot of the counters, again, I want to bring it back to the wild card because we saw a whole lot of winning matchups in the gold lane, LaFell, that just wasn't used as a winning matchup, right? Roger versus Moskov. We saw Harith versus Moskov as well. Yep. And some of these lanes just didn't go the way that we were thinking it would go. Yep. And I think for this particular matchup, that's something we need to talk about because if Super Marco gets a big pick in the gold lane, say he gets a Brody or Roger, that early game, very snowbally, very bully type of laner, you're going to expect that lane to get steamrolling. Maybe the whole Falcons AP brand, they might be playing towards Super Marco if he gets an early lead.
Exactly. I feel like during the wildcard, it really is about missed timings because I feel like now the turtle is much more important. So you want to gank the EXP lane, perhaps in the patches before. You see maybe some help coming into the gold lane, so perhaps they're adjusting to it. Yeah. But what do you think, Wolf?
Yeah, to be fair, I think we have to really look back at the root cause of why the wildcard looks really funky when it comes to like whatever is happening, where we have our expectations and different things happen. It's because the patch was very new that time.
Very new.
I think we have to give credit to all of the teams that played the wildcard. It's difficult to play in that kind of scenario where the patches were the best of ones, patches dropped, you're not prepared. Sometimes you know that you're very strong coming into the tournament, then come a new patch, you're not strong anymore. I think that's probably the root cause of why we're looking at the games in the wildcard and we get surprised so much. Like there was an Alice Angela.
It was KBG.
Exactly. They lost after like dominating. It's like it's very unpredictable because if it was a new patch.
Yeah, and again, I feel like very interestingly, because the winners of the group stage, Homeboys, in terms of the bans as well, something we got to talk about is the bans, where they ban out something that not other teams ban out. They ban out the Faramis, right? So it kind of shows, according to their data, the Faramis is definitely a big factor. I feel like it should be a big factor because the Faramis is pretty strong when it comes to the turtle fights. And then late game, once the Faramis has 3 items, and we got to talk about how the glowing one change just made Faramis much stronger in the late game. No matter how strong your marksman skills, a 3-item Faramis can burst out most marksmen.
That's true, and Faramis is a problem when you're from a drafter's perspective, because let's just say you let it go, right? And then because the enemy has the Faramis, you are always thinking about, should I get an assassin? Because getting an assassin when the Faramis is up means that you don't have your efficacy is just reduced so much, and then you also have to counter it with a good laner or a Valentina.
Yeah.
Right? And then you also have to answer it with the next lane choice of Lapu Lapu, get the Edith. It just poses so much problems that you'd rather just ban it out and just be free with your draft.
I think that could be said about Roger as well, doesn't it? Right? I mean, for Faramis, you can technically dictate the drafts. You can try to force out that Valentina, the Lapu Lapu, some big AoE abilities to get rid of the Netherrealm, or to just, face off against the Netherrealm. Roger, we've seen a bit of the same in the wildcard too. When the Roger gets picked up, you either get slain by him, T2K were able to utilize it so many times, getting Maniacs left and right, or you go for a Mincetar. You go for a big pick that can counter the Roger, that can counter that dive composition, even the Odette we saw.
Yeah.
That was what we were talking about earlier. So does the Roger fall under that category as well? Will it for Prio here, just like the Faramis?
Up, 50-50 versus the Nolan. It's another skills matchup. And the Tigreal, this is an FCAP signature that they use against assassin junglers because they know that they can just invade constantly with that.
I think this could also be a lot of value that Falcon's AP Brand get, because it technically forces the Moskov on a Purify or a Flicker, depending on how you want to play it. But we've been talking a whole lot about the Moskov, LaFell. How the Moskov has been able to utilize that Inspire for the most part to win out in the lanes. Now with the Tigreal, I think that has crossed it. They basically have denied the Inspire away from the Moskov, and they pick up another damage dealer. You're right, the Julian was coming up.
Yeah.
And what do we expect the Julian to do here?
Yeah, it's going to be the jungler for sure. It's a skills matchup versus the Nolan, so it's going to be dominating the early game. XYG, I think it's better if they go sustain like Minotaur and Matilda.
Minotaur banned.
Minotaur's already banned, so that's a problem. What else are you looking for? Maybe
do you want to go for a bit more tanky?
Or Florin perhaps? But yeah, a frontliner here for sure. Or maybe they just swing it out, like get up Barretts actually, put that in the XP lane, put the Edith in the roam. Barretts kind of provides you that front line, maybe a Thams as well, so that they at least have that front line that can allow for the Moskov to just freely hit. Some sort of peel. X-Bar kind of falls in that scenario as well, so that's a really good pickup as well.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for the analysis all across the draft. But now, we're throwing it back to our casters to start our first game of the day.
अच्छी हो यार सुंदर कस्तो ठुलो आवाज आइरहेको है त्यो हानेको आवाज आइरहेको है किबोर्ड हाने पुरै त्यहाँ What? That was strong.
passive, but at least you want to go for the fights.
Now, when the game started, I was actually surprised that Ogwin was already level 4, so he probably might have stolen some of the buffs. Was able to catch a first minute. Maybe he was able to steal some of the green buffs, you know. But then, there are so many problems with the Lui that this presented to XYG. That's why I feel like even when the Lui was nerfed against a top tier team like Falcon Safety brand that know exactly how MLBB operates, it's very difficult. Like they even attempted for the play, the cross, like it's not even a crossover, it's an outside of the map play where you teleport in with the implosion already so that you'll be able to just initiate so quickly. There was a TP play coming up from View where he was able to get into that bush up top. I call it the sandwich bush. And they were able to eventually sandwich the Moskov into getting the kill in the early stages. So I think at this point in the metagame, let's not give the lead to a team like Red.
I mean, like, what do you folks think here? Because I feel like in terms of the tempo, XYG was not ready for that tempo because we got to remember one thing that happened during the game is that they got the Lord and then XYG is like, oh, they got the Lord. And then immediately just behind him, AP Brain just goes in and then they get the kill. So do you think the tempo, XYG was just not ready for it?
I think definitely, right? All the way from the draft, it definitely feels like XYG, they had their expectations as well as to how they could actually hold off in the early game, but the execution was a bit off. Again, they went on for the Vexana, the Edith, they needed to go for a little bit of poke at least, so even if the neutral objectives did go in favor of Falcon's AP friend at the start, they could, you know, try to punish them a bit more, it feels. They were super reactive, too reactive, and because they were reactive, they were I wouldn't even say it was reactive, you know, I would say they were just too passive, because like you said, even the pace of that proactiveness coming in from Falcon's AP Bren, usually as a reactive team, you could actually catch on to that, but here, they just waited for the plays to happen, and it happened, and they weren't ready.
If you're picking up the Nolan as well as the Moskov in one team, surely you're going to be having a lot of problems you're farming.
Yeah.
It worked before, but usually it is paired up with a very active duo in the mid lane. So Edith plus the Vexana, although it's very strong when it comes to like performing your circle or your box in a team fight setting and a front or back, it's very strong. But when it comes to making the plays, Edith is slower than most, and you also have the Vexana just sits back very definitely. So having the Vexana as well as the Edith in a composition where you have a Nolan and a Moskov that's farm dependent, that is where the disconnect comes from XYG. I feel like it's difficult to pull that off. It has been successful before, but when you're facing up against Louis with the Tiger that's very active, and then you have a very active Teresa as well, that is where the problems really start to pile up.
You know what, I feel like we got a lot to say, but right now I want to hear what our reporter has to say. So Eterna, do you have something for us?
Hey everyone, it's Eterna and with me is Repo all the way from Malaysia. Repo, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good right now.
That's great. I mean, I've been seeing you exploring all these games. What's your favorite so far?
My favorite will be that. Hockey, what?
Air hockey.
Air hockey, yes.
All right, you like air hockey.
Yeah, this is my signature
winning it. I think this might be just a Paquito last pick for XYG or a Benedetta.
Jungle?
No, Paquito EXP.
Ah, so Arlet Rome.
Arlet Rome, perhaps. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. But yeah, if not, then maybe a Hayabusa for XYG. Let's see.
Oh, it's gonna be a Lolita pick.
Oh, so it's gonna be a Lolita. So this Arlet is going to the EXP. This Lolita is gonna be interesting. Thank you very much, Wolf, as well as Merkel, for your service. Now we gotta throw it over to the casters. Good luck for you guys.
Welcome to Mobile Legends.
Hindi na bago.
Bravo. Yan na. Collapse para. Collapse. 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 Zindagi collapse. Kudesa. Nanti kate sebelah. Ya, collapse.
Masa ko ni Oy ba?
What a game for Falcons AP Brandon. Here with me, two-time world champion Hugh. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's, I have to say, it's been quite an incredible performance, and especially that second game. That was incredibly close. But I do have to ask, coming here to Riyadh to compete in the MSC 2024, how does it feel for you guys? The only tournament that you guys are missing from your trophy cabinet.
We are excited because MSC is the remaining title that we haven't won yet, and the prize pool is very big also.
That's right. I know you're looking forward to that. Now, it's no surprise that a lot is expected from Falcons AP Brand. You were expected to dominate. You finished the first game in about 13 minutes. Coming into the second game, there was a little bit of a struggle. What happened there?
Yes, we were surprised by their gameplay in the second game. I think in first game they were quite nervous, and in second game you can see that they're really brave now.
They showed their bravery in that second game. Once again, congratulations with that 2-0. It's now time to go back to the studio.
Thank you very much. And now we're looking at the highlight here. Let's talk about this. Even though, yes, Falcons AP Brand, they won, but my goodness, was it a close game, guys.
Your mom was right.
My
All
mom
they
was
needed
right.
to do was go crazy, and they did. Man, yeah, even though Falcons AP Brand won this game, we gotta be super impressed with their early invade and all the way. You know, oh my god, some of these skirmishes went so close, and I thought Falcons AP Brand would be able to come back just right here after a little bit of a throw, I would say, from Jianyu Gaming. They get the neutral objective, they stayed a bit too long, and they got punished for it.
I look back at the first 1 minute, or the first minute and 30 seconds of the game, you saw that there was some sort of vertical jungling that's happening from XYG, which they eventually got 3 kills out of, and that meant that they had a very comfortable early game, despite Kautizi stealing some of the buffs, getting the important level gap between the junglers. Eventually, they were able to just overtake and take over. You saw that Yuan was very impressive in this game.
Very impressive.
I have doubted this Vexana pick for 2 games now, and now I see in game number 2, the reason why they prio picked this Vexana is because Yuan was very good at the hero.
We got to talk about the picks here because we have to say that XYG, they made a few mistakes. But one of the players that actually capitalizes on the mistakes is Ogwen. So let's talk about Ogwen and his Grok pick.
Yep, we know that we kind of predicted that this will be picked up eventually, and it was the choice for FCAP, and we saw how good he was. There were amazing utilization of the flicker plus the wild charge, although sometimes it did not have any follow-up, but in the latter portions you saw how important it was. And also there was that reset play that he did for the Lord, which actually eventually made
Setting the Lord.
Exactly.
Yeah, again, like I said, I feel like Ogwen was really one of the playmakers, making it so that this game is actually comebackable, because we see a few times comebackable, because we saw trademark.
All right.
Thank you very much. Definitely comebackable, because again, during the game, we see that XYG, they lost a few fights, and those few fights really turned things around, Mirko.
It really did, right? A lot of the fights in the early game, and you know what? I would say that just their mechanics they were able to shine on their mechanics.
Yeah.
Me and LaFell, we were able to, you know, get an interview, a podcast done in the MLBB analyst desk. You guys can check it out with Long. I think he was a sub player for XYG as well, and he did say, you know, that in terms of mechanics, they should be able to be on par with even the world champions, and I think we got to see that.
Yep.
It's a great look for China, great look for XYG, and definitely a bright future for them, because the fact that they were able to make the gods of the game bleed.
Exactly.
Falcons AP Brand, it doesn't look like they could be beat.
Yeah, speaking of which, your opinion has really helped us a lot. But for you guys at home, your opinion matters. Scan the QR code for the broadcast feedback survey and let us know your thoughts. Anything that we could improve in order to have the best experience for you guys. Back to the game. Anything else that you saw, Wolf, in that game that really made the difference?
Yeah, KLVJ being more active now with this Arlot pickup. I think although there were so many times where we're like, oh, is he gonna be throwing this game for the?
He's overextending.
It was a very sweaty game for sure for KLVJ. But I think this is the part where if you're XYG, you don't know your strengths. And I think Few also raised an important topic where maybe XYG were just nervous. Maybe they were just jitters. They were looking very comfortable in game number 2. They were so aggressive. They played KLVJ in his comfort play style, and He1 was also shining in this game. You see that even the junglers that with this Akai pick, which we thought will be struggling, actually found a lot of good openings eventually. So I think that XYG, what we learned from that game is that now they're comfortable, they have to play with their strengths, and they are a team that definitely has to be feared in this group.
It's all about getting rid of the jitters, right? In game number 1, super passive to a point where they weren't even contesting some of these neutral objectives, not even punishing the enemy team for going for all these neutral objectives, invading in the jungle, taking fights, and forcing that pace. But in game number 2, the complete swap, even though, like you said, the Akai, we did see, by the way, even after the 3 kills, that the Roger was able to just outfar him by a lot. I think it was 2 levels. But the way that they were able to play it around the neutral objectives, it just feels like now they have their core strength, which is the mechanics. Now they need to work on their weakness, which has to be the discipline.
That's right.
Because so many times they were overextending, way too overconfident.
Yeah, and I gotta say that was an amazing first match to open up the day. But up next, we'll have the second match of the day featuring Fnatic Onyx going up against Team Falcons. Don't go anywhere. MSC 2024. We'll be right back for more action. welcome back, and you're still watching the first day of the group stage of Mid-Season Cup 2024. My name is Abel, alongside with me, it's gonna be Mirko as well as Wolf. How you guys been feeling after game number 1?
I feel great, man, especially considering, we were able to get a surprise right off the bat. Even in Stream B, we got a surprise.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I think they're still going on with game number 2, but game number 1 didn't go as as I expected.
Me neither.
Especially
You went as I expected.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. So you're paneling alongside 2 Cloud9 fans here.
No, the thing is, I love them. But you know the thing about love is that when you love someone, when you love something, they need to be taught a lesson.
So how much do you love Homeboys then? All right.
SRG?
So with that being said, depending on love, we gotta talk to our reporter, Eterna, the reporter for our Aces ROG. We're not gonna be talking about love, but who are you gonna talk to?
That's it.
Gini kali.
Ito ay Mamaloy. That was Beloy.
That was Beloy.
For the rest of you guys, Lubo ka ba?
Fourth time in the row. The question is, can Fnatic Onyx defend their MSC title this year for 2024? Let's take a look at the players here now. They're all ready. And they've been dominating their region, and a lot is expected from them coming here in the Esports World Cup.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, if you win your region 4 times in a row, I think still there's going to be quite a lot of pressure, like you mentioned, and I want to see how they're going to be able to deal with that, especially in the MSC right here in Riyadh. And their opponents, the MPL MENA champions, coming up in Team Falcons. You are talking about Ding, Kenji, Goodnight, Lark, and Super. These guys have had an incredible run when we're talking about MPL MENA. I want to say it was kind of a close final, even though it ended up 4-1 for them, but every single game was very, very close. And I want to see if being here on home grounds, if that's going to help Falcons overcome this obstacle, Mara.
And I know both teams are ready. You're ready.
Hell yeah.
The crowd is ready. So let's turn it over to the studio.
Guys, look up. Look up.
Okay.
Because that's where the battle is going to be. It's going to be battle over the skies.
Oh.
Fnatic Onyx, the atas langit ada Onyx, and going up against Team Falcons, champions of MENA. This battle, our neck's gonna hurt. We're just gonna be looking like this.
I was expecting you to have a counterpart for the Atas Langit Adaonic.
the atas langit ada Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, technically for the Falcons.
I mean, Falcons, they fly, okay?
They fly.
You can do anything. You can literally fly.
If you're a Falcon.
Sorry for the rest in case I'm loud.
Yeah, it's okay, man. I mean, I feel like for Falcons, looking at it, they're definitely coming into it as the massive underdogs, right? Fnatic, Onyx, they've been on a run. 4Pete as well. They've looked so disciplined, and now with the added player, the new rookie in Lutpi, it definitely felt like for the last few tournaments, you know, Fnatic, Onyx, one of the biggest weaknesses has been the XP. So the fact that they've covered that, and they've also covered early game playstyle that usually, you know, ends up with them losing out. It's great for them. It looks like it's just amazing. But for Falcons, they're also really, really good. I got the chance to cast for the MPL MENA Grand Finals, and the way that they were playing, it really felt like I was watching Fnatic Onyx just with a different flavor, bro.
But here's the thing, right? Because we got to talk about Falcons in their region.
Okay.
They've said that we're too strong for our region at this point, so they feel like, you know, they can do well. But now I gotta say, will the Sky Kings humble the homegrown Falcons, or will we see something like XYG where a few surprises come in and then they can actually do well?
There was this very old curse, I would say, for Onyx when it comes to international tournaments, that they almost always lose the first series of the game, of the international tournament. You know, that kind of changed a little bit, but you know, this might be the time where it happens.
Listen, Wolf.
Okay, we're listening.
If they lose their first match in the group stages, they usually get grouped. That's the pattern. M3, MSC 2022, and then after that, when they win their first game, they're pretty good, you know, top two at least.
Yeah.
So I get that. But also for Falcons, you gotta pay attention to Goodnight. In my opinion, Goodnight has got to be the star player on the team, because it almost seems like, all right, he's gonna be the main carry, right? You expect the gold lane to be the super carry. You expect maybe even Ding to carry on these big picks like the Benedetta, the Paquitos that he's been able to use even in the grand finals. But Goodnight, he is a player who would use any hero, even a utility one, an enabler, to just play it as a carry.
Yeah. I think he is really acclimated himself in this region, despite being from the Philippines. He's been part of Okami since early 2023, and now up until today, he's part of Team Falcons. Definitely knows how to play and to have dominated the region. I agree with you. I think Goodnight has found his own niche in playing. I think there's this, what they call in the Philippines, where it's sort of a handicap because you're playing in a higher level ping. When you get into the LAN situation, you're much better. And I think it really helps the role that Goodnight is playing. Haven't really talked to him, but he's not that quote-unquote famous in the Philippines. But when you look at his gameplay, definitely plays really well.
We got to talk about the draft as well, because something that caught my eye was from the previous series is that the mid lane is actually very, very important, because we saw how the Louis was very, very impactful. But we got to talk about how Vexana has been doing pretty well as well. For this matchup, do you guys think that the mid lane is something that we have to pay attention to? Or perhaps no?
100%. I mean, just look at Sans, dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's probably going to be one of the less priority picks, because we know that Sans can essentially play anything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there will be a lot of flex. I will not be surprised if there will be like a Hellcurt position for.
I mean, he used to be
Terizla play. Yeah,
right? He used to be a jungler.
That's right,
bro. We even saw him play Ling in another tournament, and he went to the jungle. They flexed super hard, but we won't talk about that. I think for Sans, for Goodnight, the fact that we are highlighting both these players, we also technically gotta highlight the junglers as well, because for Kyrie, he might just be able to steal the show on this one, knowing that the assassins are back in, you know, the meta.
Yeah.
You take the game on the Lings, the Fannies, the Hayabusas, you name it.
Here's the thing. Good news, bad news. Good news, Skypiercer came into the game, making it so that kills are very important.
Yes.
The bad news is, we might not see highlight clips of Kyrie with 1 HP escaping multiple attempts of kills onto him. Because, like, again, Kyrie is a highlight machine, man. Every single time you open your TikTok, YouTube, whatever, you'll see the guy, and you'll see him cheating death multiple times. Do you think, because now from 6% going to 4%, maybe he can still do it, but maybe it doesn't look as crazy?
Come on, man. I think there will not be an international tournament without a Kyrie highlight. Kyrie surviving with yeah, exactly.
I don't know who does that.
Yeah, no one does.
And then from what I hear, Skypiercer is actually named after Mr. Sky King Kyrie.
Oh, that does rhyme with Kyrie. Skypiercer and Kyrie makes sense to me. Sounds the same.
All right.
Same syllables, same letters.
Kyrier, sir.
Kyrie, sir.
Sky Piercer.
Scary Pierce.
Scary Piercer.
Scary
Piercer. There you go. There you go. That's how we solved it. Now we're going into the pick and bans here. Falcon is the first pick. Fnatic Onic, second pick. They ban out the Luyi, and Fnatic Onic banning out the Chip.
Yeah, I think when it comes to priority for Falcons, knowing that they banned out this Louis, they probably will go for something really standard, like a Roger, for example, that can be flex. Hayabusa.
I love that ban.
Yeah,
Very early ban.
I mean, like, you're going up against Kyrie, man.
Of course.
The scary Kyrie.
the scary Kyrie.
The scary Piercer. The Skyry Piercer.
At this point, by the way, for Fnatic Onic, this is what they like to do, even in MPL Indonesia, right? They take the red side, but they are the ones to actually force out a lot of the big picks to be left open.
Okay.
See the chip ban, and then I think for now, they're just going to ban out all the respect bans over, like Faramis, great pick by Good Knight, was able to get them a lot of the crazy victories in the grand finals of MPL MENA. But for Fnatic Onic, I think right now, they want to leave that Angela open. They want to get the Angeling if possible, and technically it forces Falcons to choose whether you want to ban it, you want to first pick the Angela, or you want to go up against Angeling Kyrie.
Yeah. If you want to let go of the Angeling, you have to first pick the Valentina if you're Falcon. That's your only answer, your only out for that kind of composition.
Good Night.
That's right. So that could be the choice here for Falcon versus Fnatic.
I mean, the thing is, we've seen multiple teams actually get, well, I would say get baited by allowing the first pick Angela, but I like that the Julian is banned here. So even if they want to, say, first pick the Ling, there are still counters, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The Nolan is still open. Kyrie can use the Nolan very well, but it does give options for Falcon here. They want to pick up the Angela first pick. They want to pick up the Ling first pick. It's much more flexible. Now the Hayabusa as well as the Julian gets banned out. Almost like they want to force Fnatic Onic to pick a Nolan or Ling.
Yep. I think the only two choices here for Falcon is Ling or Valentina.
Yeah.
Ling is an absolute risk because Fnatic Onic can just go for invade type of roamers for Mr. Keyboy, which he excels at. Valentina should be a vanilla pick for Falcon because it's a one-size-fits-all kind of a hero, you know. But then you give the Angeling to Fnatic Onic. Even if you draft against it, they're just really good at that hero.
You got so much control now on the Ling, you know, even when you take the purple buff away, it's much more sustainable when it comes to the energy.
Oh, yeah.
But also, a lot of teams, the way that they've been able to beat Fnatic Onic has been to taking away a lot of the playmakers, a lot of the carries in the mid lane.
Yeah.
That's why we're seeing, you know, the Loyi ban, the creative ban, and that's why they might not want to give the Valentina open, but
we forgot about Harith.
I mean,
man.
Here, there's a reason we forgot about the Harith, right, LaFell? We saw the Harith.
That's Angeling 100%, dude.
Abysmal win rate, but yeah, for sure it's going to be the Angeling. If it's left open, Fnatic Onic, they never, even in the previous patch, when Assassins were not meta wolf, they were forcing the Lings out. So now, they don't.
Okay, so I think that they're giving Angela so that you're baited and then they flex with an Esmeralda last pick for Fnatic Onic.
Interesting.
So that's still scary. I will advise against picking up the Angela. However, you're kind of forced to if you're...
No, I mean, like, Harith Angela is crazy, dude.
Yeah,
like,
but then again,
so that Harith has 9 lives.
If you, well, that is what a game that we call Esmeralda Ball.
I mean, I don't know.
Comebackable, Esmeralda Ball, we're just making our own, you know, turns now.
Personally, for me, I've seen Harith again and Angela.
Yeah.
Playing the Esmeralda, unless you go full damage, it's gonna be a tough time.
Yeah. But then, so Valentina makes a lot of sense. There's the Edith, really good pick. What happens if you're Fnatic Onic that you can actually pick up the Angela pick? For sure. But then having the Valentina, which I kind of prescribe as the first pick for Falcon, means that you have a way to copy that Angela, right, with the heart guard. So it's really good. Edith is also generally a good pick. There's the Farsa. It's gonna be picked up for Sun. So no Angeling whatsoever for now.
Look at that duo, man. That looks awesome. Yep. But either ways, yeah.
Ling is so tall, dude.
He is.
He's like 6'4".
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but if you want to know that I'm lying. But either ways, Farsa getting picked up here, I feel like is an amazing pick as well.
For sure.
Creating a lot of pressure, especially Sans.
Yep.
Sans is one of those players, if you pick a vulnerable hero, he's not really vulnerable. He finds ways to make sure that he outplays you. Yuzong getting banned immediately.
Yeah. Also a really good answer to the Valentina in a way that you can win against some of their end. Definitely. Okay, so Yuzong is also one of the heroes that you will consider if you're facing up against the Ling, because there's one-shot combo, especially if the Ling doesn't have the ultimate anymore. So it's also one good ban here coming out from Fnatic Onyx. So if you're Falcon, I think you want to ban Ruby, as it is one of those combos with the Ling. Also, a decent laner versus the Harith.
Yeah, I'm not too sure where the Arlet's going, because that could still be utilized as a flex pick. But
That's right.
For Team Falcons, it's a really good first phase draft, man. The fact that they picked up the Harith and then they pick up the Edith instantly. Because usually we do see a lot of teams go for the Edith after seeing the Harith. You want to try to force him out after using the Zaman Force to stay in the team fight. You want to try to punish on that cooldown, but finally now we get to see the Angela ban. So I really expected Fnatic Onyx to go for the Angela over the Pharsa.
That's right.
But knowing how early game centric the game is, Pharsa is played in a very different way.
Yeah.
Back then, M3 was like, all right, it's all about scaling, getting into the mid game. But now, Pharsa allows you to deal damage so early on, and that burst damage, sure, you can't one-shot people, but it allows Mr. Kyrie Man to fly over to execute, especially if he goes for Sky Piercer early, and that's what he usually does. He goes Berserker's Fury, Sky Piercer, no boots.
Yes. And well, no upgraded boots, because you still need
no upgraded boots, just the small boots.
Yeah. The thing with
Isn't Boots not playing for this game? Like, what boots are you guys talking about?
the one
game boots.
Oh, the footwear. The footwear. Sorry, I was talking about the EXP laner, so that was confusion there.
It's okay.
It's okay. We get confused a lot of times. There will. I will not be surprised if Fnatic Onyx just picks up their robe.
Should he ban the Esmeralda here, or
their gold laner at their 4th? Yeah, Esmeralda can consider
if
that.
you really want to, you know, like respect it. For me, I would just let it go. I'm like, you know, fight fire with fire, or shield with shield.
Probably would ban maybe Ruby actually. Well, they banned Thursday instead. Yeah, good combo. Link plus Thursday. Very good combo. Yeah, for Fnatic, I think they're going to be picking up their gold laner now. They sometimes pick up the CC with the Ling.
Yeah.
Which,
you a fan of that?
Nah, not really. But I think if there's someone who can pull it off, it's definitely Fnatic Onyx. So, they lost that game, right? So, this could be Ruby or Beatrix. Oh, they pick up Kaja. So, they have showed that this Arlet is going to the XP. So Kaja is also an answer to the Harith, by the way.
Yeah, it's a great answer to the Harith. You know, with the Divine Judgment, you get that suppression down and you lock him down instantly, but you also give a big ultimate over to the Valentina. And it's Good Night, the guy who can go for these crazy angles, very similar to Sans back in MPL Mina. But now I want to talk a little bit about Fnatic Onyx, because usually when we see the Kaja, we expect the carry. But in this game, do we expect the carry? You know, there are a lot of damage dealers here, not a lot of beefy boys. And maybe that illusion is trying to force out Falcons to go for more damage output, and then they can pull off something like a Brody.
Yeah, Brody or a Beatrix actually, because the carry is gonna struggle against their Harith in the lane. If that goes, that's a very difficult thing to go for. And now it's going to be Baksha, very good pick, and the Benedetta. All right,
signature ding.
Yep, gotta be splitting the map for that one. I think Fnatic really is a good Beatrix game if they pick it up.
Beatrix.
Yeah.
The only thing is that the scale is, you know, like there
we go.
Yeah, the scale is going to be something that Fnatic Onyx have to look out for. I feel like the Pharsa really has to do well, but either ways, thank you very much, gentlemen, for your service here during the draft. But now, starting the second match of the day, we're passing it over to our casters.
Evita subiendo de video, tío. Digo, no. Evita subiendo. Video que se llama de todo, ¿no?
checking out the highlights, we gotta talk about how in this game, Lupi 1v2, sure he died, but that was awesome. But the Savage coming in from CW.
It always seems to happen to CW, dude, right? Like every time we talk about Fnatic Onic, we're like, oh yeah, Keyboy, Kyrie's a god, Lutpi, new rookie in town, Kila Sans, and then we don't say anything about CW,
Yeah.
but he speaks the loudest. He screams in game through that Savage. That was spectacular. But even all the way from the start of the game, right? I mean, the Beatrix pick already to set him up for success, and in the way that he was able to play the Beatrix ball.
I think you gotta have to hand it to the team that was losing in this game. I think they really challenged Onic in this game, particularly how Ding was able to play. This play coming up from Lark, however, Lutpi as well has been unleashed. I really thought that there were so many times where I thought that he would have lost just because of what he was doing, like with this particular play. But then eventually he outplays, he trades for the team. I think one trait that has always been very successful for Onic in general is that they know how to trade. When they see a play that they might lose on and they may be losing some of their heroes, eventually they pick up the slack and then find a trade from somewhere else in the map. And definitely that's what happened with this game.
Here's the thing, using a Beatrix, usually you scale, like you take a long time to scale because your first item is the Blade of Despair, and the Blade of Despair is a very expensive item. But the thing is, if you get your Blade of Despair the same time as your opponent gets the Stardom Scythe, dude, I don't know how CW is farming, man, but he's so fast.
He's so active on the map, and I think it all comes down to the question I even asked Wolf, right? Why the Beatrix? Why was the Beatrix so prio here for Fnatic Onic?
Yeah, well, I would say it was a means to an end. Like I told you before, the Ling was the centerpiece here, and the Beatrix was more of a hero that you used to clear out the lanes fast so that the Benedetta as well as the other members, other members of the opponents will not be as effective. You're the bruiser as well with your Nibiru as well as your Bennett's Rage, and then the Ling will be the one to kind of sweep it all off. But then CW plays that Beatrix just so well. Like, I think it's one of his signature picks. He was able to get the Savage and be the centerpiece, even when it's just a hero of like a means to an end kind of hero.
You know the crazy thing is, usually we see this crazy, I would say savages, perhaps coming in from an assassin jungler, but again, CW really showing up. And I gotta say, there were a few times where like, okay, this fight looks 50-50. The moment you see on screen pump, double kill, Beatrix, okay, you know what? No longer 50-50. This is all Fnatic Onic.
So many ways that they were able to out micro, I would say, right? Because it definitely seems like for Falcons, they were very, very confident coming into this matchup. Good Knight getting a lot of crazy engages with the Divine Judgment, and also just really good damage as he was poking. But I guess in that department as well, even though he was very, very impressive, Sans kind of outclassed him too, right? The fact that he was up against the Benedetta, the Baksha, this kind of composition that should on paper be able to punish a Farsa, yet couldn't at all in the game. 3-0-8, and it wasn't like Sans was playing in the team fights. He was playing all the way in the back, but we were even laughing at how he was flying in front of the turrets. Sans doing Sans things.
Inside the turrets, man.
That's just Sans. That's Ila Sans.
He's very good at calculating pixels. I would say he's a pixel art master, where there was a time in the middle where the Edith tried to initiate and try to go for the suplex, but he was able to jump with just one tiny pixel, then stayed in front, like staring him down like with a Farsa wings by wings. You really feel the tension in.
Call him Picasso, man, because he is an artist, an absolute artist. But Lupi as well in this game really showing, I would say, nerves of steel, because he didn't look nervous at all. It looked like he's very comfortable on stage.
That's why I was saying, right, before the game even started, Lutpi, he already went through that arc. He was playing with these players who everybody in Indonesia look up to. So that was the hard part. How do you fit in with the gods of MPL Indonesia? The fact that he was able to adapt in such a short amount of time, the fact that he was able to replace a legend like Boots, a guy who's been in the team for so long, someone that was carrying the team for so long as well from Season 8. Now you get to see it finally on the international stage.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, this performance has been amazing, but based on what we saw in the first match of the day, things can definitely turn around. Team Falcons, at least what we saw in game number 1 going up against Fnatic Onic, it does look like they have showed instances where the mechanics are there. Ding looked good, Lark looked good. It's just that perhaps in game number 1, they were a little bit taken aback. They were surprised by what happened, but in game number 2, things could change, couldn't it?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I think there wasn't really that much when it comes to like the drafting choices. I think the fact that on the Fnatic Onic are in the red side, there's nothing really can do with that last pick. But then again, they were brave enough and bold enough to give the link, so it kind of tells me that they are prepared for this. I don't prescribe it against Fnatic Onyx, but if they are prepared for this, I mean, like they have good coaching staff for sure. They know that they can look at many VODs of Fnatic Onyx. Maybe that they should be doing the same thing. Like I said, I would not prescribe that when going up against Fnatic Onyx.
But that's the thing. I feel like for Falcons, the fact that they gave over the Angeling combination, they were prepared for the Angeling. When they didn't go for the Angeling, they just didn't know. Wait, it's just gonna be a Ling. All right, they're definitely gonna pick up the Angela for first phase, last pick, right? And then they go for the Farsa, and then it confused them even more. So Fnatic Onyx have so many more ways to throw curveballs at their opponents, even in the drafts, and that's why they love the red side so much. They get to react.
Maybe it's just that Fnatic Onyx is like, okay, we've been training for 14 years. With the Ling, and then for 13 of those years they keep on banning the Angela. You know what? I'm sick of this. I don't care about the Angela anymore. Let's just assume we'll never get this hero ever again. And that's why they just be like, you know what, even if it's up, don't take it. You know what? I never liked it anyway. You know what? Extra shields,
I don't need it.
I'm Kyrie. Right?
Say it right.
Huh?
Say it right.
I'm Kyrie. There you go.
I cannot do that. But then
again, apologize to everyone else in the you know.
There's also this weird interaction where they went in for the Valentina, which is also definitely great against the Angeling in general. Ling versus the Ling, it's great. Versus the Angela, it's also okay. The answer was the Farsa, and then a Kaja, which is interesting because now
it's interesting.
You pick up a hero that kind of amplifies the Valentina, right? But then this is like that options paralysis where you have so much good ultimates to copy. You gotta have to copy the Farsa ultimate or the Kaja ultimate, right? So you're forced to this situation where if you want to pick up the Kaja, you kind of have to find the Kaja, which obviously Heboy is not gonna let you do that so easily. And then he wants to pick up Sans, he has to get up close and personal to Sand, where there could be a lot of punish. So that's probably how they dealt with it. I still don't think that picking up the Kaja versus the Valentina is good, but hey, this is Fnatic Onyx. Who am I to say?
It's kind of like going to a hotel buffet. There's a lot of picks, man.
Yeah.
Too many picks.
Too many picks. Like, you might want Omali.
You might.
I will always. I want Omali.
Shout out to
like,
Omali.
Literally, right now, I want Omali.
You want it right now?
Like, literally right now.
I mean, it's really sweet. It's amazing, just like that victory for Fnatic Onyx. But now we have to talk a little bit about, for me personally, later on, do Falcons want to take away that red side? Because I think that's been a core way to actually try to outdraft Fnatic Onyx. That's what we've seen in MPL Indonesia as well. So I'm expecting Falcons to actually do that up against Fnatic Onyx. Take the red side.
Honestly, my question really is, like, we saw that Fnatic Onyx took the Ling. Was there any real answers for the Ling for the side of Falcons?
They banned it, right, Julian?
I'm thinking Tigreal, actually.
No, I mean, like, the draft that they got at that moment, were any of those picks were any kind of answer for the Ling pick? Like the Valentina,
for sure.
Harith.
Valentina is definitely an answer. Harith is not, but if you play it in a certain way, it could be. Like you saw Lark actually outplaying Kyrie at least one time. So we can also think, if you think about the Benedetta, if you play it correctly, yes, you can outplay the Ling. But then there's a lot of problems that he has to solve. The Farsa, for example, is actually Farsa and Beatrix kind of forces the Benedetta, forces Ding to choose between who do you have to go to the backlines for. So does it have to be the Farsa or something? So
it's basically like the way that Fnatic Onyx draft is that we have a lot of problems. Try to find answers for it. So I kind of feel like during the draft, Falcons, they need to have one answer that can solve multiple problems. But again, it's easier said than done.
Way easier said than done, right? But Fnatic Onyx, they somehow make it work. They're always able to execute these very difficult compositions, because if you give this kind of composition to anyone else, it'd be very hard to pull off. I even remember in MPO Indonesia when the assassins were meta, where it was still the utility jungle meta, and they popped off on the assassins. It looked ridiculous, because on paper this should not be a composition that could win.
Yeah, I think maybe it's, if we're gonna be looking at back at the draft, maybe this is a composition versus composition kind of counter, not more of a hero versus hero counter. Wherein if you want to go for countering the Ling, maybe just get another side laner that can split push, like the Benedetta, for example, and the further members will just go and group up and then just push and siege towers over and over. I think they tried to go for that play too. And Harith, Edith, Valentina with with their jungler is that definitely can snowball off of sieging towers, then let Ding take over. However, Lutpi made it difficult. It kind of paralyzed Ding in that regard, where he just really kept Ding in place.
So many layers.
Yeah, I gotta say, looking at this match in particular, I kind of feel like we have to give attention to the side lanes, both EXP as well as the gold lane, because even though, yes, the mid trio for both teams were very impressive indeed, but it looks like the playmakers are coming from the side. So I really want to see how Falcon may have to give a little bit more room to Ding and maybe move around with him to really secure a big team fight win against Fnatic Onyx, because at this point, maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need to take out 3 members at a time to really take advantage of the map. But now the draft has started. Fnatic Onyx is going to be first pick, Falcon second pick, Fnatic Onyx instantly banning out the Faramis.
See, this was one of the big weakness points for Fnatic Onyx coming into the playoffs. When teams would be able to take that red side away from them, it took away the side that, obviously Yeb is most comfortable on.
Yeah.
But through the playoffs, when we got to the later stage, they could play both sides. They could play both sides effectively. And I would say on the blue side, they're even more dominant when it comes to just forcing these big picks off. Because now you don't have to get rid of the chip. Now some of these picks you can actually take for yourself. So now Falcons have technically put themselves in a spot to be dictated. Like, it's all Fnatic Onyx right now.
But then again, you give yourself you
give that reactivity.
You give yourself a fighting chance, and that's all that matters in the end, right? Gotta adjust it. Edith going to be banned. You're forced to ban the Julian and the Chip. Between Louis and Chip, I think you would rather give up the Louis at this point, because Chip is just so good at the metagame that we have right now. With all of the new items, like imagine a Chip with a Sky Piercer kind of damage dealer to go with it, with the bonus damage. It's just ridiculous amount of damage. Think about the Chip here if you're Falcon Esports.
Honestly, Chip with Sky Piercer is crazy enough that I actually like it.
Chip with Sky Piercer?
Chip with Sky Piercer.
The base damage early is insane.
Yeah. No, like imagine, like after 2 minutes just jumping inside the jungle, and then even with the first kill, imagine the first kill getting a triple kill.
Yeah. Falcons think so too.
Yeah, Falcons think so too. It's like, yo, Sky Piercer and Chip is scary.
Public service warning, don't try this at home.
Try it in your friend's home.
Try it in your friend's ranked game. See how they like that.
Okay, so I guess you banned Valentina here if you're Fnatic Onyx, or they banned Louis themselves. They want to take the Harris, I believe. Fnatic Onyx allows CW to flourish in that, but Fnatic Onyx is gonna be crazy enough if to pick up Ling when Harith and Ling is available.
Are they crazy enough to go for Angela? Just Angela first pick, right? Because that has been what Fnatic Onyx has been doing in MPLID?
Yes. I think they're a team that they're one of the few teams that can do that.
Yeah.
But then again, I think they will only do that if the Valentina is not an option for the opposing team. You just give up so much. You lose the lane because you're Angela going up against Valentina. You give up a good ultimate hard guard. Allows him to get up close and personal. So with that, with this kind of draft, I would say Ling should be the option for Fnatic Onyx. The safest play is Harith first pick. But the Fnatic Onyx way is either Angela or Ling. I would say Ling is the choice here.
What about the Roger though, right? The fact that the Roger is still up for grabs as well. I think it's as prio. Okay, the Harith still comes up. Still super prio despite the fact, in wildcard we got a different treatment.
I would say the win rate isn't really on Harris' favor, but again,
I think wildcard it was 0%.
Hey. 0 is better than negative.
I don't think you can get negative.
Moskov and Arlet, perhaps, the answer, I would say. Definitely Moskov is a hero of consideration going up against Harith, because you just win the lane afterwards.
I mean,
they go Ling and Arlet. Okay, so this is they're picking up the
same draft.
Will Fnatic pick up the Valentina? Probably.
I think they should. At this point, perhaps Fnatic Onyx, they should pick up the Valentina.
Yeah, Valentina to go with perhaps a Terizla. They pick up Fanny.
We can even hear the crowd's reaction.
Fanny Valen, come on, Fanny Valen. Show it.
I mean, you can try to go for the Ling pick, right? But that's only an open challenge to Fnatic Onyx. They're like, all right, if you want to go Assassin versus Assassin, we want that too. We want to go for a damage dealer, a physical damage dealer in the jungle. That's usually always the case when they go for the Harith.
Yeah. really thinking about Valen here. Oh, they picked Urza as also prescribed. Falcon, will they pick up the Angela this time? That's a problem though.
Pick up the Angela and ban the Valentina.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. It's gonna be the best option here for Falcon. Apart from that,
But I don't know, like personally for me, I really don't like playmakers like Goodnight picking up heroes like the Angela.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, so even if they pick it up, perhaps give it over to the roamer because Angela can do work in the mid lane. I know, I get it, but it's like cutting off someone's potential, you know?
that's right.
But if you do that, either way, right? You go and give Super, the Angela, then Fnatic Onyx will cut down on all the frontliners, and they're gonna have a good time with all the damage output that they have in their composition. So technically now, with the Angela too, I mean, you get so much more sustain for your Ling, but it's kind of one-dimensional in a way where the Ling needs to succeed.
Yeah.
If the Ling gets shut down in the early game with an Angela, it'll be too one-dimensional. So go for more,
Should this?
more team fighting.
Oh, dude, it really makes a lot of sense here. Tigreal is is a sleeper pick in a way that people just not consider it, but it's definitely good versus Assassins.
I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, Assassins is good and all, but we got to remember how in game number 1, CW was amazing on that Beatrix, and doesn't Harv want Purify anyways? Like, it might be an answer towards the Fanny, but I feel like, again, you got to have one option that answers multiple questions, and I kind of feel like it's not really an answer towards the Harif.
That's why I feel like a lot of teams up against Fnatic Onyx, they tend to overthink, they tend to overcomplicate things up against Kyrie. They always think about, all right, how do we counter Kyrie? And then they forget about CW. Because even in the previous game, I feel like that's what happened. They were focused on Kyrie. All right, on the Ling, we got to catch him. We got to get Sans as well. How do we counter Keyboy? And then CW just comes in, gets a Savage.
Yeah, again, I want to be proven wrong, but I feel like they should respect the finals MVP of Fnatic on it. They should respect CWV. If they don't have an answer at all, it's going to be a bit tough.
Yeah, I wonder what the answer will be. Maybe somewhere along the lines of a hard lockdown from the EXP lane, or a combo with the Arlet. But then again, you already know the Arlet is going to the EXP lane, right? So maybe a burst mage. And what is that? The Farsa, for example, Kadira, perhaps, if Kadira Tigreal would be good. I might be forced for a Valentina. Or maybe just go the farming route. Let's just farm it out. Let's go for Angela in the mid lane, and then let's go for a Beatrix. I wonder if Falcon play.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah, Vixana is not that big of a burst, but it's still okay in this comp, right?
You got a lot of CC to play with the Vengeance.
But there's Fanny. It's difficult.
That's the problem.
It's difficult.
Yeah,
to
it is
play the
difficult.
Vex.
Oh, you know what? Go full crazy. Odette.
Ooh,
right?
That's actually a pretty good pick.
Right?
Actually, yeah.
Go crazy.
Yeah, it's actually really good versus the Harith.
Yeah.
I love it. And with Implosion, that's a great combo. Yeah, that's a really nice pick if they do pick it up.
The Fanny as well, and the Tigreal. Technically, everybody who wants to dive, they all get punished by the Odette, especially
that's right.
You said, they have layers of CC, the Implosion, even the final slash to knock them all in to the Swan Song.
Yeah. Man. Okay, so I wonder if there's this argument for Zask, but I think it might be for Fnatic Onyx this time. Ling hates that hero. Because he just constantly gets outplayed, and if you go down, like, if you don't have the first skill, if you're just walking through, you're gonna be just, be destroyed by that Zask. So, Falcons, they ban out the Valentina, obviously.
They already have a magic damage dealer, right?
Yeah.
So technically, they can put Sans on an Angela,
Yeah.
and then they could actually just amplify how much of a threat the Fanny can be, the Herith can be. A lot of possibilities still for Fnatic Onyx, but that possibility technically is also up for grabs for Falcons.
Exactly, this is the first pick.
But it's going to be on Good Night.
Yep. Okay, I think they might be forcing the Angela. They might be forcing the hand on Angela here. Angela Tigreal, not the best combination actually in the mid lane. So that puts him in a very awkward spot.
Because where's the damage going to come from?
Yep.
Exactly.
Right? Ling needs the Berserk Fury as well.
Odette might be, or maybe they just settle for the Vex and just try to outplay it. Vex with Arlet is also pretty good. They go Beatrix, as we did say. Okay, come on. Fnatic, give us the Zask. Apart from that, the Grok looks really good for Fnatic. Minotaur as well looks really good. And Franco also looks good for Fnatic, just so that they can counter the Ling.
Honestly, I do like the Minotaur, have a teamfight comp that doesn't need a Fanny.
Yeah.
how good would it be if it was a Cho here?
Cho, yeah.
Cho
You
is
get
pretty good too.
All right, they go for the
Okay,
Grok. That's a safer
okay.
choice. You go for instant initiation. You can kind of cancel the Tigreal as well with the
Yeah.
Power of Nature and then straight into the Wild Charge. So a lot of different ways to counter this composition with the Grok, but final pick.
Zaskor Nana for me. I know it's crazy. They might just settle for a Vex so that, you know, you have a...
Or an
you have
Angela.
reach, Or an Angela.
Angela, yeah.
Instead of the reach for the Beatrix. That sounds boring. Let's, you know,
Spice it up a bit.
spice it up a bit.
They go for Aurora.
Yeah.
All right.
Spicy enough.
Spicy enough, but she's technically not spicy.
She's
She's cold. She's
yeah.
ice. She's ice cold, bro.
Yeah. Okay, so I hope they're the team that picks up the Odette. But then this Aurora pickup, as well as the Grok, kind of really gives you that go signal to just go back for the Vex. Vex, Angela, well, like I said, the Odette.
I feel like the Angela's problem is that you don't have enough damage. They go for the Lunox.
Yeah, okay, this is the least that I would think of because usually when you go for the Lunox, there has to be a vehicle somewhere along the lines of a chip or maybe a Matilda so that you can initiate. Lunox is very slow. Against a Fanny, I'm not sure if that will fare well.
Well, the thing is, Wolf is not a big fan of the Lunox pick. We gotta ask the casters, how do you guys feel about the Lunox pick?
fantastic sweep from Fnatic Onyx, and here with us with a gold laner. CW, congratulations. This is your first series en route to defending your MSC title. Now, that was a great Savage with your Beatrix in game 1. Did that give you confidence? How do you feel about that?
Sebenarnya kalau dari gua ya nggak terlalu ngejar scrimmage sih, cuman emang kita main tim aja emang ya buat menang sih.
He says he wasn't really looking for the Savage. That was basically just a bonus. His main priority was to play as a team, but that's what happened, and that's how he was able to perform.
For Savage, and we hope to see many more.
I mean, we definitely want to see a lot more of that in the tournament, but I do have to ask, your group has been dubbed the group of death. So how does that make you feel? Do you think there's any team that could threaten your title in your group?
Jadi Fnatic Onyx kan ada di group of death. Itu yang orang-orang bilang kayak grup kematian. Menurut cewek, gimana? Group of death nggak sih? Dan kalau misalkan iya, ada nggak sih salah satu tim di grupnya cewek yang menurut cewek akan menjadi kesulitan buat Fnatic Onyx?
Kalau dari gua emang tim-timnya kuat, bukan grup kita doang. Jadi kayak ya kalau salah satu tim yang paling banyak sekarang orang mention sih SRG sih.
So he said that all the teams in all the groups are strong. So he doesn't necessarily think that his group is a group of death. But if he had to choose what team would be a very difficult opponent to go against, it would be SRG, the Selangor Giants.
Well, after your performance today, all eyes will be on you. Once again, congratulations with that 2-0. And it's now time to break it down for you. So we're going to go back to our panelist.
Thank you very much, but I have to correct you guys. It's not a group of death. It's the group of death.
Yeah.
Now we gotta go and look into the highlights here, where again, I feel like the Sky King Kyrie on this Fanny, you have to react before something happens, because if not, you're instantly looking at Beth in the face.
That's what we got to see the entire game, I feel, you know? Like, the Tempest of Blades was used up so many times just to get out, and Kyrie's so good at utilizing the cables, and also just reacting to some of these moments, because, let's say, like, one of these moments, we'll get to see it here, especially, but let's talk about this. Lark, it almost like he didn't get the memo, man. The two other members recalled, he was like, nah, you know what, I'm gonna just walk to safety, and Keyboy spots him in the bush.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the side of Falcons could hold Kyrie down. Only with 2 Beths this game.
Oh yeah.
Difficult.
Here's the question, right? Because we look at the draft coming in from Falcons, and remember what we talked about game number 1, where Falcons draft game number 2 has components of draft of Fnatic Onyx in game number 1. And even you guys, the analyst, said that's a difficult draft to actually pilot. So why is it difficult, and why Falcon, they couldn't do it against Fnatic Onyx?
Well, they don't have the necessary tools to kind of control this Fanny. Like, they were forced to go for this Lunox. I think that they should have picked the Valentina instead of the Tigreal at the third slot.
Third pick, yeah.
Definitely, this Lunox, although it was able to take 1 kill off of Kyrie, but that again, 2 deaths, not enough for this Fanny. I think the reason why they were able to pull it off is because of the order of picks that they went for.
That was pretty fast, but we got to talk about the Fanny as well. The atomization that Kyrie went for, having the Sky Piercer, having the Blade of Despair. Who can actually tank that?
No one.
No one can tank that.
No one. So some of the times, you know, we saw the Tempest of Blades, we saw the Brilliance as well just pop. They had to do that. And Kyrie, he always cables in a way where if you don't do that, I'll just follow through. But if you do, all right, I'll react to it. That's how fast his reaction time is. Yeah. So he can actually afford to make those risky plays. It will be risky for any other player.
That's right.
But he makes it work.
Okay, gentlemen, MVP of this match. You guys feel it's Kyrie? You guys feel it's CW? The entire match, not the game, entire match. Because again, I feel like multiple members of Fnatic Onyx definitely deserve it.
I think after 2 games might be Kyrie for me. But if I'm just judging game number 1 alone, definitely Mr. CW himself. But I think overall it's Kyrie, fortunately. No bias.
Yeah, for me, I think it's CW. After that Savage, it was just, you know, they look kind of messy a lot of times, but CW always consistently winning, just like his name.
You know what? So I guess I'm the tiebreaker, right? So whatever I say is probably the true MVP of the game. So for you guys at home, don't forget that Stream B is happening. So in case you guys are watching that, update us as well, because we would like to know. And
Yeah.
Do you want to know the results of the previous match?
Do tell.
2-0 Falcons. Falcon was able to beat Cloud9.
Okay. Ooh.
You know what?
Wow.
That's a very interesting point there. And again, you guys have the option to watch Stream A, Stream B. Here's the thing. Let me tell you what to do. Buy another monitor and watch both at the same time. It's not that hard.
Or get an ROG phone and multitask.
Yeah, get an ROG phone and multitask. That's right.
I don't have a phone or monitor.
That's a lie.
You know what? For you guys at home, you guys can let us know what you guys think, because you guys can scan the QR code down below here and actually let us know what you guys think, because again, we want to improve the show for you guys. Your opinion matters, and whatever you guys say, we'll follow. We love the fans, don't we?
Yeah, we love the
every
fans.
single time I look at the comment section and I'm like, yes.
Okay,
You are correct.
we love the fans.
We love the
The
fans.
comment section
Here's
though.
the thing. Dude, I love the fans and I love the air conditioning.
Oh yeah. They're cool.
They make you cool.
Yeah. But no joke. I think the best chat in the world is Mirko's chat, dude.
Oh,
That's best fans in the world.
Okay, you know what? Here's the thing. You guys, we were talking about the MVP. My MVP is Suns. So if we have a highlight or something, we gotta look at it, because again, Suns was again. I gotta say, Fnatic Onic, it's very difficult to pick an MVP.
even Lutfi was doing really
Even
well.
Lupi was doing well, right? Let's look at the highlights here. And Sans on this Aurora reminds me of Stormy. Maybe that's why they shout out the Selangor Red Giants.
Yeah, man. And this in game number 2, he also again showed us how good he is at calculating pixels. There were so many times where his ultimate was able to get onto the edge and still was able to freeze his opponents. The timing as well. You're gonna see it once more. It was the clash before, but yeah, he was able to reach on to Anongar's Lutpi, taking advantage of this Terizla with the life steal. I think we're gonna see our MVP presented by Sony.
That presented by Sony, KDA 14-0. Gold Ribbon, it doesn't matter. You're a mid laner, kill 67%. And again, looking at the itemization here, he was able to build the Holy Crystal. But I gotta say, looking at that game, he might not even need it. The damage was already a lot. And the important thing as an Aurora is the control.
And the fact that he got it as a second item after Blood Wings really just means that he was able to burst down his enemies. And I think the problem with Ling as well as those assassin type of combos is that if you fail on your combo and you let the Aurora survive with the passive, obviously, the punish is just way too good, and you have the amount of burst that the Aurora can put up with this Holy Crystal.
And I mean, look at game number 1, right? He was on a far side. That was a vulnerable pick. You don't have a passive to save you when you get low or when you actually lose your HP bar.
Yeah.
Imagine now with another HP bar, with technically that passive. So he went from unkillable to unkillable?
He's not killable, but either way. Look, English is difficult, but what's not difficult is that saying thank you to you guys. You guys have been amazing, but we're going for a short break before we go into the match number 3. welcome back to one of the best stages in the world because you guys are still watching the first group stage of Mid-Season Cup 2024. My name is Ophel, and alongside with me is going to be Mirko as well as Wolf. Well, we'll be watching Liquid Echo going up against Twisted Minds. What do you think about this matchup, Wolf?
I'm not being seen in the camera, but I'm copying what
that's what you're doing.
Okay. So what do I think about this? Obviously, Liquid Echo is a team that will be more favored in this match. We can say pound for pound they have the better experience. They have been champions of international before. When they went in for MSC last year, we also saw almost the same composition. I think that they're on their prime, and I think this will be JP's fault once again.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's true, but if the camera can get onto me, maybe, here's the thing, maybe they could twist their minds. That was more dizzy than I thought. Maybe I was not prepared for that. Okay, listen. Crazy things could happen. And maybe even the Sansan duo could be surprised because the thing is, on Twisted Mind, there's Sanji.
Yeah, they got Sanji on Liquid Echo and also...
That's right, that's also true.
Technically for Twisted Minds.
So maybe the communication is like, yo, Sanford, go for Sanji.
Which one?
Sanji.
That could be something that, would happen here. But honestly, looking at Twisted Minds as well, how they were able to play...
That twisted my mind.
That twisted our mind.
Twist now.
No.
No? I guess we gotta do it, Wolf.
Yeah,
let's twist.
Yeah. Okay.
That was synchronized, 100%, right? But okay, Twisted Minds. I think they're...
No. You know, I think this is enough. I need some kind of break because honestly, right now, we gotta go to the stage because the stage gotta save us from this. You know what, Mara? Take it away.
24 earlier, we witnessed an Indonesian team sweeping their opponent 2-0 by Fnatic Onyx, and now it's time to start the second series of today.
Oh yeah, we're starting the second half of today's games as well, and it promises to be an incredibly spicy game. We had the champion of MPL Philippines Season 13 coming up against the runners-up of MPL MENA Season 5.
That's right, for the third series, it'll be Team Liquid Echo performing really well in the MPL. In fact, they swept their opponent, former world champions, and they're out to make a statement here in the world stage. Let's take a look at this video. Team Liquid Echo, known as a powerhouse of a team out to take down your hometown heroes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Twisted Minds, they're looking to twist the game coming into their first series of MSC 2024. Let's have a look at the lovely players representing the organization and of course Saudi Arabia in this tournament. Looking to redeem themselves in the first series for themselves in today's games. Twisted Minds, after being runners-up in MPL MENA Season 5, they're definitely looking to leave their mark. And what a mark it would be if they started off with a win against Liquid Echo.
Now, we saw both teams backstage, and we can tell they can't wait to start the game in the Land of Dawn. So we're gonna head to our panelists.
Very much, Mara, as well as Sandstorm. And yeah, again, this is going to be an interesting match. And the thing is, you know what? My bad. I was giving service towards Twisted Mind, but now I got to give service towards Liquid Echo. If that was Twisted Mind, now this is... It's Liquid.
Where's the Echo?
We have to do that too?
No, please no. No.
Well, I think in the way that they...
Analysts? Don't analysts do this?
I think that's what you do, and we try to dissect what that is.
Yes, exactly.
So try to dissect what I just did.
You try to be liquid, but you're semi-liquid. You're a plasma. You know?
I'm a plasma.
Yeah.
Isn't plasma like light? No?
No, I
don't
like.
Yeah.
Okay, here.
Yeah, I get what you mean. You know what?
Yeah.
I get what you mean. I understand the reference though. I understand the visuals, right? Because you're trying to say that
If you
Liquid
want me to
Echo.
do it again, I can.
No.
Okay.
Yes, you can, but the camera's not on you, right? Maybe Benny wants to do it, but
Yeah.
I get the visual representation there, man. Liquid, they're very versatile and they are very loud. They want to go in the early game and dominate, which is the loud part, but they're very versatile. They can play for Benny even in the late game, and I think up against Falcons AP Bren, how they were able to beat Falcons AP Bren in the grand finals was that they were able to team fight so well through their versatile style. It's so interesting to talk about Liquid Echo because
Style?
it's a very versatile
I mean, like,
style
yeah.
they want to
Marco.
go for.
Yeah.
that
Marco,
they have.
do you want to be my interpreter?
Okay,
Like how I do with the players, but instead I'll just do body movements.
and I'll explain.
You'll explain
Beautiful.
what I feel,
Okay.
because that was 100% what I feel. Now, how do you feel, Wolf?
I feel like I feel liquid right now.
Plasma or liquid?
Very liquid. Because I think true to their name, Liquid Echo is very fluid when it comes to like their drafting choices as well as the way that they are playing or that they're playing the game. Interestingly though, even when I say that they are liquid with their composition, with their drafting style, the way that I saw how they perform in MPLPH Season 13 Finals was that they have a set amount of rules when it comes to drafting. It's more of a programming language, like the if-else kind of thing.
Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
this is picked up, this is the
If A
answer.
happens, you
if
do
A happens,
D.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, for example, if Fredrin is open, they're gonna be picking up the Fredrin. If there is Roger, their answers are boss, cuff, or carry. If they have carry, they make sure that they have the Yuzhong. If
Yeah.
the Yuzhong is picking up the RT, they have the Paquito. So it's
If
very,
someone
very,
gives you
very
food, you take
if-else. Depends on who gives it.
I mean, that's true. But we talk about Liquid Echo here, but Marco, have you been running around my mind? Because my mind is twisted. Let's talk about Twisted Minds.
Yeah, I think it's also very cool that you did the twist because Twisted Minds likes to give out the twist in the game as well. Not in the way that you expect, right? You maybe
Not like
expect
me.
like a not in a literal sense, you know? Technically kind of like you. You put in the visual representation to it. They have a different twist to the game, which is pure early game, right? When we're talking about Liquid Echo, yeah, they have a lot of different templates, a lot of different formulas to a lot of the crazy picks that they have from Falcons AP Bren and a lot of teams that they're going up against. But for Twisted Minds, it's all about their own team synergy. It's all about how they can get the picks that they want in the early game to dominate. And early to mid, that's where they play. I think even back then in M5, I remember in the group stages, they were able to give Fnatic Onic a tough time in the group stages through that early game, forcing Fnatic Onic to play to mid to late and then ultimately take the game.
What's M4 you mean?
M5. Triple.
Oh, yeah, right, right.
Honestly,
yeah.
like, is it crazy for me to say I actually do feel like Twisted Mind can take one game off of Liquid Echo?
You see,
Because here's the
They twist their minds out.
no. But here's the thing, right? It's like, Marco, how do we work, right? We have a curse.
we do.
When we say a team wins, they lose. When we say they lose, they win. But it's a best of two. How does that work?
Listen,
The team will win, kind of?
listen. I think the easy way would just for them to be giving us merch, and then we will just not.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
Liquid Echo, they gave me merch, so Twisted Minds is gonna win.
Oh,
I
they
agree with
didn't
you.
give it to me. You know what? Liquid Echo wins 2-0.
So now
I
it's
don't
neutral
care.
here. We got the Wolf Curse, but I think that only applies to Malaysian teams, so maybe we'll use it later.
Yeah.
He is going to be taped up during those games, for sure, for sure.
Okay.
Am I allowed to be in this building when
You're not allowed to be in this country.
I think you're allowed to be in this country, but M6 now that's maybe
Now that
maybe
one.
it'll be different, you know.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I will talk to our ministers, and we got to do something about you.
Can you not do it?
You know what? Since you said that, I will not do it.
Okay, thank you. All right.
He
He
asked
says
nicely.
something he does like.
Oh man, now
Okay,
my
okay,
mind
okay.
is twisted.
Okay.
You're twisting my minds out.
Talk about both teams here. I feel like the way that Twisted Mind actually get under Liquid Echo skin, you know what? Go for the early game. Do what you do best. Surprise them. They won't expect a jungle invade, so you do exactly that.
And I believe for Twisted Minds, a phrase or a term that they use to describe this team in MENA has been the Twisted Express. So they've actually been able to utilize the Echo Express kind of name
Isn't
and
that a
play
roller
style as
coaster?
well. What, the Twisted Express?
Yeah, isn't the Twisted Express technically a roller coaster?
Oh, that's
Right?
I don't know what a roller coaster is.
That's a lie.
You know what? If you're an analyst and you don't know what a roller coaster is, you really need to touch grass, man. You got to go outside.
Yeah. I've been planting some weeds in our backyard. You know.
You,
Touching grass.
Yeah.
that's
Exactly.
at least I know that you're seeing the sun. That's all there is to it. But yeah, Twisted Express.
Twisted Express.
Twisted Express. Okay, so they gotta give Liquid Echo an experience, right?
Yeah.
Which I feel is going to be an experience that we'll be watching as well, because you got an update from Group B where NIP Flash won.
Oh yeah, and NIP Flash was able to take
really?
the game number 1 up against Fireflux, and that in itself is already an underdog victory. I think most of us predicted Evos and Fireflux to top that group. No, not you.
Not me.
Who did you predict to top that group?
Actually, you know who I think about. But either way, shout outs to Stream B as well. Shout outs to everyone watching Stream A and Stream B. You guys are amazing.
I actually expected NIP Flash and Fireflux to top Group A. I mean, I know that Evil's...
No. You can say what you want. Your opinion matters, okay?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna shut you down. Like, Mirko, on the other hand, he might... Dude, Mirko, let the man have his opinion, okay?
I'm not doing anything, man. I'm just...
I love Evil's Glory, dude. They have a great coach, great staff.
Yeah.
Great players.
You're a great coach.
3 of their players/staff
was.
Oh no, you weren't even a coach. You were an analyst.
Okay. You know. Let's listen. Leo is listening. All right.
Okay.
Is he?
He still doesn't know. Okay. Don't ruin the surprise.
Yeah. Why? What does he not know?
Leo's been looking for this one guy.
Okay.
That's his whole arc.
Okay.
And he can't find him.
Okay.
And until
sometimes
how does that relate to me? Why are you talking about that?
Because you know the guy.
No, because you know Leo.
I know Leo.
Leo, exactly.
I know who he's looking for, but so what? I mean, I cannot reveal to him who that guy is.
Either ways, just saying you're an amazing coach. I love you, man. Like out of all the friends that I have, you're like top 30. You know.
Top 30.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great honor. I take it. I take it.
Mirko, you're like top 31.
Oh, God.
Oh man, top 31. Wait, do you have like is it also the opposite? Top 31. That means 31 is like higher than all the others.
No. The thing is, I put all of them in a shoebox.
Okay.
And I pulled them one by one.
All right.
Gideon's number 5.
Gideon's number 5. Where's
number
the
1?
Where's the Eterna? Not part of it.
After what happened yesterday,
not part of it.
During dinner, she bumped up.
Oh, okay. So it's at what, 40 now or
29?
Oh wow. Okay.
So it's 31. That's 30. 29.
Crazy.
That's crazy. Wow. Okay.
At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if people want to see us again just to see what we're doing.
Yeah.
And let me just say, as you guys see us here right now,
perfect normal.
We haven't done anything.
I bring more updates for you guys, by the way.
Okay, what's your next update?
What's your next update?
So, remember how NIP Flash were able to take game number 1 against Fireflux?
That's right.
They were able to get both games. Now, game number 2 as well, NIP Flash, they swept through Fireflux.
You know what? I'm so shocked. Look at me. I'm so shocked to the fact that I feel like we gotta go to an interview, so somebody save me. Yalla.
Hi guys, it's Eterna here, and it looks like we are at the player lounge. So we're gonna take a look. Wait, guys, do you see what I'm seeing? Boston, is that you?
Oh, hello. Hi there.
Wow, it's so good to finally meet you, and you're finally here as well. How has it been so far, day number 1 of MSC?
It's wonderful. It's amazing. I can't wait for game number 3, and especially for me, it's very surprising to see so many pro players around.
Yeah, I bet it is. I mean, starstruck all around, right? Players that you've seen on screen that you finally get to meet in real life. Now, talking about that next matchup, right? We have Homeboys going head-to-head against Team Spirit. Now, we gotta ask, who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for Homeboys.
Wait, what? Homeboys? Seriously?
Oh, just kidding. Of course, I'm rooting for a team from our ESA region, Team Spirit.
Okay, that made a lot more sense, because you said Homeboys earlier, and I was like, oh man, that's pretty cool. But okay, of course he's rooting for Team Spirit. But with their next match, it's not going to be an easy one, right? Homeboys made it all the way from the wild card, and now we have to ask you a question. What's your message to Team Spirit for support, morale support?
First, the next game will be super important for team spirit. And I can say, Savo, outmine them. Kid Bomba, blow them up. And Sunset Lover, Satoru Gojo them. Go team spirit and make it.
Make it a team spirit. Thank you so much, Boston, for this time and your time as well. It's been great, but we are going to go sending it back over to the studio. So thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Boston. And we got to do what Sao has to do. We're going to outmind them. You know, I love this camera. This camera can move around, so we can move around. Like I could go to you guys.
We are just following your flow, right? If you want to walk around, you can walk around, man. And if you tell us to walk around, we'll walk around, man.
So if I say we're going for a break, I can do that?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I'm gonna test out my power. Let's see. We're going for a break.
Wait, really?
I did not thought that would work. I legit did not thought that would work. Do you guys think they're giving me too much power?
I think so, man.
Too
They
much.
take a little bit more of it. They
Yeah,
need to
just
take all your power away.
Yeah.
We can't have you to be doing that, man.
Yep.
I mean, if you want to, they can't do that. I still have my meds.
Well, still no.
The question is, do I have power without my meds? I probably do. You know what? For all of you guys at home, every one of you has some kind of power.
Yeah. You
You
can
guys
fly.
You can literally fly. Now we're literally in the pick and ban phase. Team Liquid PH is going to be the first pick. Twisted Minds is going to be second pick. Faramis instantly banned out.
Is this another Blitz draft coming out from TLPH? No, for sure that could be well the case. Faramis is going to be the first ban. This tells me a lot of stuff, like the Roger to be the priority here for TLPH.
All right, firstly for me though, they've opted to go for Hoda instead of Tarzan in the lineup for Twisted Minds. This is actually the full lineup. This is the main lineup for Twisted Minds, but mid-series in the grand finals, they actually swapped out Hoda for Tarzan. So that's something that they could go for as well later on in game number 2. But again, on the red side, you're kind of already forced to go for the chip ban, maybe even the Lo Yi, considering how good Sanji is. I think Sanji should know how good Sanji is.
Yeah.
Because Sanji knows Sanji.
Because again, Sanji could chase after Sanji. If Sanji picks up a Yuzong and Sanji goes up against Sanji using the Lu Yi, Sanji might win that.
If Sanji goes with the Valentina up against Sanji on the Yuzong, then the Black Dragon Front could be used by Sanji and Sanji.
Wait, is the Valentina EXP or mid, and is the Yuzong EXP or mid?
That's the beauty of it. We find out.
There was a time where Valentina was actually played in the side lanes.
The gold lane, right?
There was a time that Valentina played in the jungle as well.
And EXP.
And EXP. You know what? Valentina, we even seen Valentina roam.
That's right. That could be...
So who's... Oh! Sanji! Who's using the Yuzong again? Sanford, that's right. So they ban out the Yuzong.
Yep.
This is gonna be...
Definitely a special. I think just the way that we're looking at the draft, very high chance that Lu Yi will be banned out here. Coming up from the Twisted Minds, and then again Roger should be the priority here for TLPH.
Can we ask our casters, especially the one doing play-by-play, whenever you guys are saying Sanji, can you be specific?
Yeah. Like, so Sanji, I think Sanji is all caps in Twisted Minds, I believe.
But
so you have to yell? Is that it?
Yeah.
Sanji!
Exactly.
And then when TLPH makes a play, like Sanji.
Yeah. Oh, there's Lu Yi, first pick.
And
immediate Roger and probably an Arlet here.
Oh, they picked up the Minotaur, and again, the Minotaur is an amazing pick no matter what situation.
So Minotaur and
Roger.
Roger.
Exactly. Having the bull and the werewolf.
Yeah.
That's true. You know, a lot of reactivity with the Minotaur as well if you want to go and counter some dives.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with the Lo Yi, you're very, very creative with your dives. You can go for different angles. And as usual, as we saw as well in the grand finals, the Baksha was a great contributor to the success that they were able to found. So it's going to be the Baksha plus the Arlet. This is also a combo that you can utilize with the Lo Yi really, really well.
Exactly. Because Arlet and Lu Yi very good at just setting up the plays. Baksha is a hero that can catch up. It just can really explore the map. Decent versus the Minotaur because of the sustain now. Twisted Minds might go for a Vexana here so that they can answer the Lu Yi. Or perhaps a Novaria.
Oh, Novaria, yeah, I like Novaria a little bit better here. Yeah.
Novaria and Minotaur, classic combo. Really good at scouting and obviously winning or equalizing the mid lane. So, they went in for the Farsa instead. So it's all about like transforming here for Twisted Minds. Had they gotten the Yuzong, they're all Transformers.
I think that's the wrong franchise, but
like the Roger has a skin with that, right? But the Minotaur and the Farsa, not really. But I get what you mean.
Farsa transforms into a bird.
Exactly. But
Wait. Because here's the thing. The bird is Farsa's husband. Though.
Exactly.
Right?
So technically,
the bird is
you
her
transform? We need to ask Lord Leo.
Yeah, Lord Leo. So he's got a lot of things on his plate later after this. Okay, so you ban out. You probably ban on the marksman here. Carry.
You ban out like a Claude here.
Moskov and Claude looks to be a. Maybe they're not that concerned about the Claude because they have the Minotaur.
Something in me tells me
Masha.
Great ban. Benny Cutie wants to pick up the
Carry.
No, because he's been picking this quite a lot, which is the Beatrix as well.
Yep.
He's been using it in a lot of different tournaments.
Versus Farsa versus the Roger, it's gonna be good.
I like this Farsa band, the Masha band, by the way.
Exactly. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense versus the Farsa and the Roger.
Yeah, the thing is with the Roger, it's very, very difficult to go for any defensive item to go up against this Masha. Usually you want to go for Wind of Nature, and usually if you have a normal marksman, that's the easiest answer. But on the Roger, you get that, you don't get the full duration of the Wind of Nature, so it's a bit hard to go for the counter. Technically you can go Winter Crown, but it's a bit tough to pull off as well. So
but it looks cool.
It does look cool.
Right, mid-transformation, Winter Crown, that looks cool.
And then you freeze on air, yeah.
It's like,
and then the Claude ban as expected, right? Up against this composition.
That's right.
You can dive into the back. You can play very safe in the gold lane as well. But 2 XP bans just to set up for the Arlet.
Yep, CC. Which is interesting because it's CC Roger is like very difficult to pull off because of how much farm you need. But yeah, they're gonna be banning it out. Twisted Minds. If they show their jungler right now, it will not be good because that means that Team Liquid will be able to answer that. So I think this will be an EXP lane pickup. Assuming that the Terza as well as the CC is banned out, you're left with what? Pakiro and Benedetta for Twisted Minds.
How's the Lapu Lapu right now?
Lapu Lapu is a very, I would say it's a very conditional pick that you use when there's a Faramis, exclusively when there's Faramis and / or the Moskov so that you can dive into the backlines.
Because for Twisted Minds, right?
Oh.
Is the X-Borg?
I think you go Beatrix now for your TLPH. And then you put the Arlot in the Rome and then pick up an export and answer the export. So that usually
the Pakito is still open.
Is Pakito good against export? Not so
It is in XP. But the thing is, I feel like for Twisted Minds, they can actually go and twist Liquid Echo's minds right now with the X-Borg and the Roger. Because with the X-Borg, it can still go to the jungle. The Roger can still go to the gold lane, and they can try to play around that to just counter the Baksha.
Yeah.
But now that the Arlet has been revealed to go towards the XP, maybe they just put the X-Borg in the XP, put the Roger in the jungle, and then pick up another gold lane. They would bully the Moskov.
What can bully the Moskov? I think
Beatrix?
Beatrix will be the best. I think they might not. They might just put the Roger in the gold lane or in the jungle. Then pick up something along the lines of a Ruby because the idea here is that you're facing up against a Louis, so you don't want to really like overdo your gold lane. You don't want to farm dependent gold lane because the thing is the Louis will just be able to take over.
Oh, Danny!
Okay, against the Moskov.
I mean,
the Moskov is traditionally a counter to the Fanny.
I guess.
And this is florid, dude. I don't like this at all. I'm just saying it.
I mean, here's the thing. Even though you don't like it, it looks spicy. And when it's spicy, we gotta throw it over to our casters. It's your turn.
super hard by that Moskov whenever you want to try to go in and initiate. But the thing is, you have so many ways to actually dive, to look for the shred as well, to a lot of the frontliners that TLPH have. The thing is, they didn't even get to start, right?
No. Yeah.
TLPH were able to dominate in their lanes individually, and they just got out-mechanicked in lane.
The thing is, TLPH, they survive a lot coming in from Twisted Mind, and it's all JP's fault.
Yeah, it's all JP's fault. The bloom coming out from the Florid. One of the standard heroes for TLPH. We saw that in the playoffs of MPLPH. And the way that they use it is that they combo it up with Moskov or Hard carry, so that you definitely have that bridge to the late game. And JP has mastered this playstyle where he can just sit back and be able to farm. The thing with Florian is that it's very weak in the first turtle.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to do. The compensation there for the side of TLPH is that they went in for Baksha as well as Arlen, heroes that are not that dependent in the items.
Yeah, just the Express had stood no chance in game number 1 up against the Echo Express, and how they were able to tackle that, I would say, all the way from the start of the game was to make the gold lane a non-lane. Because the Roger versus the Moskov, we were talking about how it could be a skill matchup. It is a skill matchup, but definitely it favors the Roger in this specific matchup.
Yeah.
In this, with the addition of the Florian though,
Yeah.
yeah, no, he still got the Sky Piercer. I think it was very, very forced to go for the first item Sky Piercer up against a Moskov who was getting babysitted by the Florian. So the Roger really struggled to find its place in the early game.
So, gentlemen, can we talk about Benny Cutie though?
Benny?
Let's talk about Benny Cutie though. I mean, like, dude, he made plays over plays over plays.
Yeah.
And there were multiple times where they're like, yo, we gotta kill this guy. But Benny Cutie's like, nah, I'm gonna get you. Low HP, JP, back me up. Let's talk about Benny Cutie.
Yeah, very smart with the usage of the SOD, especially because you can kind of pick where you will teleport afterwards after the activation.
So choose where to blink.
And you also have a vision for about 5 seconds, so yeah, you really know where to really get into which part of the map. And we saw that utilizing the dash, the natural dash of the Moskov, as well as the flicker to get into like distances that you wouldn't really expect. It kind of felt like an assassin marksman in Benny Cutie's hands.
We've been seeing a lot of different ways to actually utilize the battle spell, or what battle spell you want to actually go for. You can go for the Inspire, you can go for the Purify, but in this case, going for the Flicker was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
Knowing that you'll have additional sustain already, it just gave him so many different ways to actually approach the skirmishes, and even very early on, remember the SOD. Usually on a Moskov, you take that and it's like, bro, you shouldn't have taken that. That's a throw. But he takes it, he makes it work, and somehow he outscales everyone so